On my wedding, my family blocked me from the group chat. Then I found their vacation photos in Hawaii. I always imagined my wedding day would be one of those fairy tale moments: white dress, soft music, teary-eyed vows, and most importantly, my family smiling in the front row. Instead, I stood in front of the mirror, my hands trembling as I adjusted the lace veil, while my heart felt like it had been carved hollow. There were no excited texts from my mother. No calls from my sister asking if my lipstick was the right shade. And when I finally dared to check our family group chat, just to feel a little closer to them, I found myself locked out. Blocked. Not removed. Not silenced. Blocked. The silence was louder than any scream could have been. It all started 6 months earlier when I told them I was marrying Jason. He wasn't what they wanted for me. Not wealthy, not Ivy League, not from our culture. He was quiet, kind, and the most decent human I'd ever met. He brought soup when I was sick, knew how to comfort me without words, and loved me with a gentle constancy my soul had long craved. But my family saw only difference. They said I was betraying tradition. They warned I'd regret this rebellion. When I chose to go ahead with the wedding anyway, they withdrew, first emotionally, then digitally, and finally physically. So there I was, walking down the aisle to the man of my dreams, alone. Or so I thought. Jason's parents held my hands before the ceremony. His mom pinned a little blue ribbon to the inside of my dress and whispered, "You are family now. Not by blood, but by heart." His sister wept through her reading. His cousins helped decorate the reception hall with fairy lights and fresh flowers. I smiled through it all, trying to believe that love was enough. But later that night, after the guests had gone and Jason had fallen asleep, I did something I now wish I hadn't. I opened social media. Just curiosity, I told myself. Just a peek. But what I saw stopped my breath. A photo. My mom, dad, and both my sisters, lounging on white sand beaches. In Hawaii. Smiling in the sun on my wedding day. Post caption, family vacation, just what we needed. The comments underneath praised their joy and beauty. Not one word about me. Not a single mention. I shut my phone and let the tears come. Silent, fierce, choking sobs. How could they? I wasn't just missing, they had erased me. On the most important day of my life. The days that followed were a fog. I went through the motions, smiled when I needed to, thanked guests for attending, and wrote thank you notes with trembling hands. Jason noticed my mood, of course, but I just kept saying I was tired. I didn't want to cloud the honeymoon period with my heartache. A few weeks later, I received a small envelope in the mail, no return address. Inside was a photo of my late grandmother, holding me as a baby. On the back, in her familiar shaky handwriting, was a note I had never seen before. One day, when they don't see your light, go where the light finds you. It was like she knew. That quote gave me strength I didn't know I had. I started volunteering at a local community center, tutoring teens who'd aged out of foster care. I figured if I couldn't fix my own family, maybe I could be a safe space for someone else. One of the teens, a girl named Mia, reminded me of myself, sharp, guarded, longing for someone to believe in her. One evening, after a long session helping her prep for the SATs, she turned to me and said, "You're the only person who's never given up on me." Why? I answered without thinking, because I know what it feels like to be forgotten by the people who should have loved you most. That night, Jason wrapped his arms around me as I cried, not because of the pain anymore, but because somehow, through it, I had found purpose. Months passed, and slowly, the hole my family left began to shrink. I built something new, a mosaic of love, kindness, and chosen people. Then, one rainy afternoon, while Jason and I were out grocery shopping, I saw her, my mother. Standing by the flower stand. Clutching a bouquet of lilies. I froze. So did she. We didn't speak. Just stared. There was a flicker of something in her eyes, shame, maybe. But I wasn't ready. Not yet. I turned away. That evening, my sister messaged me from a new number. Mom saw you today. She hasn't stopped crying. We didn't go to your wedding because she made us promise. But it wasn't right. I'm sorry. The next day, I got another message. This time from my mom. No apologies. Just a single line. Was it beautiful? I didn't reply. Weeks passed. Then came a knock at our door. It was my father. In his hands, he held a small, wooden box. This was your grandmother's, he said quietly. She wanted you to have it. We were wrong. Inside the box was a necklace I hadn't seen since I was a child. A gold pendant with a tiny compass etched into it. She always said you'd find your way, he added, tears in his eyes. That evening, I sat with Jason, holding the compass in my palm, thinking of the life I had built. The pain. The growth. The kindness of strangers who became family. Eventually, I invited my parents to dinner. It wasn't perfect. There were long silences. Awkward pauses. But there were also honest conversations. Apologies. Regret. And a beginning. Today, 3 years later, I look around at a dinner table filled with laughter, Jason's parents, my parents, Mia, now a sophomore in college, and our newborn daughter cradled in my mother's arms. We are not the family I once imagined. We are better, flawed, stitched together with forgiveness and compassion. Sometimes, love doesn't come the way you expect. Sometimes, it breaks you first. But it also builds you into someone stronger, kinder, and more whole. So yes, on my wedding day, I was blocked from the family group chat. But I was never blocked from becoming the person I was always meant to be. And that is the most beautiful thing of all.